Hey crafty friends, it's Joy here for Honeybee Stamps. Today I'm going to share with you how I mass produced clean and simple Christmas cards. I am starting with the Let It Snow die. There is a coordinating stamp to this, but I'm using the largest die. At first I thought I was going to use a couple of the snowflakes, but then I decided no, I'm going to use one right in the center. These are A2 size cards, but this panel is going to be trimmed down about 1/2 inch on all sides once it's done. But I want to tape this snowflake right to the center, making sure it's even, eyeballing it. I will tape it in place and run it through my die cut machine. This is a really simple and easy card. It's super pretty, tons of white space. And I will give you other little tips on how to make it go even faster when if you're doing this for, you know, a lot of cards. But 6 cards, this was really easy to do it this way. I'm also going to be using some patterned paper from Honeybee Stamps. Their pattern paper is so beautiful, as you guys know, so we're going to be adding some of that in here. I love this striped paper. This is from the winter, I think this might be the Holiday Wishes paper pad, and I love the stripe. But I didn't do all of them this way, but you could, if you had some, you know, beautiful striped paper like this, you could definitely do it this way. But I picked a bunch of different colored papers, and I think the trick to that is you need to make sure that there is a good contrast. I am going to trim this back panel down the same size or just a little bit smaller than that front white panel because it's going to be adhered. Something I did notice, I made a mistake. This cardstock here for the panels it's Neenah Classic Crest Solar White cardstock, but it's an 80 pound. I should have used 120 pound because you could see the stripes through it just a little bit in the right light. So if you do this, use a heavier white cardstock. So I've already trimmed all my panels down, and I'm going to just center them and die cut them. So this is part of that mass producing, kind of doing everything at one time. That first panel was like my tester panel. But it's really simple, especially with this big, large die. It's not super intricate, so it's easy to pop out. The die itself only has a few little things that you have to pop out of it, and so it goes really, really fast for mass producing. We've got one more to do, and then we can get on. Oh no, that was the last one. Okay, so now I'm going to trim down all of my patterned paper. I was deciding if I wanted an edge to it, an outside like matte. I opted no. So I'm going to go with the ones that fit inside. So I'm using patterned paper from the Winter Wonder and the Holiday Wishes paper pad. I love this one here. So this one, I wanted a certain image behind it, so I have to trim around it, and I'm just trimming kind of big, and then I can trim the other pieces. That one took me a second to get right, but I love that dark behind it. Then we've got this blue snowy background one. That's so pretty. I love this one. I just think it's stunning. It's all this like, looks like torn paper. Very, very pretty. Then we have this kind of tan, it kind of reminds me of gingerbread with white snowflakes. And then there's some green in there, a green plaid. And I think that was it. So let's adhere all of our snowflakes to our backgrounds. I'm adding some adhesive on the back of the snowflake and then placing the patterned paper behind it. So now we can see all of that beautiful pattern paper. Now, I will say these cards have a ton of dimension. So these may not be ones you want to mail. Maybe these are ones that you can hand deliver to someone because the dimension behind the snowflakes is a lot, and I will tell you why when we get to that point of why I decided to do it this way. Now here's a really good fast tip. I've got these foam adhesive strips. I have 2 of them. I folded them in half. I need a third one. I'm going to adhere that to the other sticky side. Now we have this long strip of 3 deep foam adhesive. This is tall. So I did it this way because this is going to be the fastest way to get all the foam adhesive behind the snowflakes rather than just like trying to do adhesive squares and stacking 3 high. That's just going to take forever. So I'm taking some of that release paper off and out of the way. I'm putting it down where I need it, and I'm just taking my scissors and snipping it. I'm going to do one piece in the center and one piece on each little arm of the snowflakes. I will speed this up here in a minute, but it did go really fast. It did most of the snowflakes. I think I had 2 or 2.5 snowflakes left when I had to get another 3 pieces. So it went really fast to adhere all of that down. Then I'm going to remove all the release paper. I'm using my reverse tweezers and putting that in place. And look, now you can see that foam adhesive behind it. I love it. Or not foam adhesive, patterned paper. I love it. Let's re-say that again. So putting that down. So what I love about this is kind of like a peekaboo. You get to see the patterned paper behind that snowflake. Now I am using the Snowflakes 3D embossing folder on A2 size pieces of white cardstock. I'm going to do that for all of the cards. Then I have my sentiments from the Mini Messages Holidays. I am stamping them with gold and silver metallic ink, 3 of each color. I'm just using my acrylic block because to me it was faster. So again, another tip for mass producing your sentiments, just make sure your ink pad is good and inked up, and then you'll get a good stamping. A couple of them I didn't. These sentiments hadn't been used before, so I needed to ink them off one time. So they say, let it snow, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, joy to the world, peace on earth, and holiday wishes. Then there is the Mini Messages Banners die. I'm going to use those to die cut. So for the Let It Snow, I used the smallest one, and there's different ends. You kind of have rounded ends, a square end, and a flag end. I'm using the rounded end. And then this large one really does fit on the rest of them. You have a little more white space off the edges, but that didn't really bother me at all. So I'm going to die cut these. I'm going to tape them in place with low tack tape, run that through my die cut machine, and then we have all of our sentiments die cut out. Sorry about my head. And I'll just use that large one to die cut out the other 4 sentiments. Now let's adhere these snowflake panels to our A2 size card bases, and then adhere our pieces with our snowflakes right to the center. So we have that little textured edge on the outside, which I love. Then I'm using some liquid glue. I am not using any more foam adhesive because that snowflake has all the dimension, and I want to leave it that way, but you can see the pretty patterned paper from here just peeking out. I think it's so much fun. Again, this is why you want to have a good contrast paper behind it, because otherwise you're not going to see it. It's not going to give you that same effect. Let's finish with this last one, and then we'll take a look at these guys up close and see how pretty they are. Oh, I love that. The striped one is my favorite. If you guys want to let me know down in the comments what your favorite is. You have that pretty blue one with the, I think that was like the torn paper. This one is the blue with the little snow falling. This is that black one with all the beautiful florals. I think it's so pretty. This is the green one, the green plaid. I think this was like what I'm calling the gingerbread one with the little snowflakes. Okay, thank you guys so very much for stopping by and watching. I hope you have a happy holiday and a Merry Christmas. Bye.